Hey guys, Shnerp here, bringing you a brand new build guide for Diablo 3 Season 20. Now this is a T16 speed farming Witch Doctor build. It's using the new Mundanugu set that's new for the Witch Doctor in Season 20. It's a really strong build, it's a lot of fun to play. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So let's start with the gear, guys. Now this is going to be running the Monojuma's Way weapon and mojo set, as well as the Mundanugu's Regalia, which is the new set for the Witch Doctor for Season 20. Now, the Mundanugu set is pretty cool. It's got an interesting mechanic, and it's also pretty straightforward, so it's not really hard to figure out how to play it right. That being said, it's not always quite obvious, so let's look at the let's go through the set bonuses. So the two-piece set, Big Bad Voodoo, now follows you and lasts twice as long. Now this is cool. Big Bad Voodoo is pretty strong. It can help you with various toughness, damage, things like that, and it follows you around, which is pretty neat. So it's kind of like a radius area of effect kind of damage or toughness bonus or speed bonus. Now the four-piece set is you get damage reduction from, so you get 60% damage reduction for 30 seconds when you enter the Spirit Realm. That means when you pop something like Spirit Walk. So you hit Spirit Walk, gives you toughness. Also, while you're in Spirit Walk, you're not getting hurt by stuff. And then the six-piece, where all the damage comes from, Spirit Barrage deals 20,000% increased damage, plus an additional percent equal to 5 times your manage regeneration per second. That's really strong, guys. That's why this build is favored. It seems like all over the place this season. Not necessarily the speed build, but just running the Mundanugu set is definitely the way to go with the Witch Doctor right now. So yeah, so we're running the full 6-piece on the Mundanugu set. We got the boots, the pants, the chest, the gloves, the shoulders, and the helm. As far as stat priorities go, you know, intelligence is never a bad thing. You can always use some vitality, but the important stuff, it's going to be Spirit Barrage. You want to get that where you can. In this case, it's on your helm and your boots. Then you want to make sure that you've got good stats on the rest of your gear. You know, that be it, you know, on the chest, you can do something like I've got here, intelligence, vitality, and armor. That's good. You know, just make sure that if you get a stat, something like, you know, like acid cloud damage or something, make sure you roll that off for something useful for you, because you're not using it in your build. So as for the rings, we're running the Ring of Emptiness and the Avarice Band. Now the Ring of Emptiness is going to give us additional damage to enemies affected by our Locust Swarm in this case. So it's up to 300% additional damage. It's a lot of damage. It's really important. It almost seems like overkill sometimes in T16 with this build, but I like having it, especially helpful when you're fighting bosses and stuff. Then for the Avarice Band, the reason we're running this is we want the pickup radius when we pick up gold. Just makes our life easier. It also works really nice with our Wormwood, which basically gives us a radius. You can see it kind of floating around Karen here. Gives us a little radius that we affect the enemies with our Locust Swarm. And that procs a Ring of Emptiness, which causes us to deal big damage. So the Wormwood's really nice in that it automatically applies the Locust Swarm, so you don't really have to use this when it's on your bar. You just run close, and they get tagged with Locust Swarm. And then when you have the Avarice Band, that spreads out that Locust Swarm ring, and really makes it affect everybody around you. So it's really good. It also helps you pick up more gold, which gives you more toughness due to the gold wrap. And then the Boon of the Hoarder also gives you movement speed when you pick up gold. So it's really strong. So that being said, one of our legendary gems is the Boon of the Hoarder. And then we've got the Bane of the Trapped. Now that's just going to give us flat damage boost to enemies that have reduced movement speed, which it procs itself. So, but you're slowing guys down. And it's proccing all the time, so you're just getting big damage boost from that. And then the last legendary gem is going to be the Zay's Stone of Vengeance, which I've got in my Flavor of Time here. I like the Flavor of Time for this build. I like it for a lot of speed stuff. having that double duration on pylons is really nice in speed runs, in my opinion. A lot of times you can just like run the whole rift with, power up almost. And so it feels good, makes those pylons huge for you. And then also, we're focusing a little bit on pylons in this build, right? We got the Nemesis bracers on. That's going to give us more elites whenever we click pylons, which creates more death breaths. It creates more gold. It creates more legendary drop chance and all that stuff. So yeah, that about covers the gear I'm wearing. Like I said, in the cube, we got the Gazing Demise, the Barber, and the Wormwood. Now the Gazing Demise, that's giving you bonus damage on Spirit Barrage, which is the main damage dealer here on this set. And then the Wormwood, we already talked about it. It applies Locust Swarm. And then the Barber is also just a big damage multiplier for Spirit Barrage. So that's it for the gear, guys. Let's take a look at the skills. For our primary damage dealer, we're running Spirit Barrage Manitou. Now, the Manitou rune causes Spirit Barrage to hover over your head and attack the enemies around you. It's really cool. It's really good. And it works really nicely with a speed run build, speed farming build. So, really like it. Spirit Barrage Manitou. And then Hex Angry Chicken. This is the key to the chicken build, guys. You got to have Angry Chicken to be a chicken build. Now, what that means, you turn into a chicken, you move really fast, and then you can explode whenever you want. It's great. It's a lot of fun to play, and it's also really effective if you just want to cover a lot of distance really quick. Moving on, we've got Big Bad Voodoo, Boogeyman. Now, the reason we run this rune is because when we kill stuff in our little area of effect with Big Bad Voodoo, we get zombie dogs, and zombie dogs cause us to have higher movement speed. That's why we're running it. It's all about the movement speed on this build. So yeah, we got the zombie dogs that come out when we kill stuff around our voodoo, and they give us movement speed, and it's good stuff. So then we got Locust Swarm. We were talking about that a little earlier. The reason we run this is to proc our Ring of Emptiness and get that damage bonus. The reason we use the Pestilence rune is because it causes it to jump to 2 additional nearby enemies. So it just spreads across all of the mobs. Make sure that everybody's got Locust Swarm on them, so you're getting that Ring of Emptiness damage buff. For the next skill, we got Spirit Walk Severance. Now, Spirit Walk causes you to disappear into the spirit realm, turn into like a ethereal figure of sorts. And you don't take damage. You move through enemies. You can move really fast. It also procs the 4-piece bonus on our Mundanugu set, giving us additional damage reduction. But we use it for movement speed from the Severance rune, and then we use it for to help us stay alive when we're out of chicken mode. Not that you can't get wrecked in chicken mode, you certainly can, but when you're standing still out of chicken mode, hitting that Spirit Walk is key to keeping from getting hit by anything, especially before you've gotten a chance to get some gold for the gold wrap to give you some additional toughness. So, and then the last skill here is Horrify Stalker. This is just for movement speed, guys. Just more movement speed. You get 20% movement speed for 4 seconds after casting Horrify. It's really good for this build. And then for our passive skills, we got Graven Justice. Now we use this one because it gives us cooldown on all sorts of stuff, on everything. So it's great. You kill stuff, and you get cooldown. It's pretty great. It's kind of like having a Messerschmitt's Reaver, but better. And then you got Fierce Loyalty. We talked about this one a little bit earlier. When you've got a zombie dog, your movement speed is higher. So we summon zombie dogs with our voodoo, and that gives us movement speed here. Like I said, it's all about movement speed on this one, guys. And then we got Rush of Essence, and this causes our spirit spells to return mana, which is key, because our Spirit Barrage is our main spell. So, and then the last one is Spirit Vessel. The reason I run this is because it sucks to die, guys. You don't have to run it. You could swap it for a few things if you wanted to, but I like it. I like having that cheat death is kind of a second chance and not get wrecked. It can get frustrating if you die a lot. This gives you kind of a little more time to get that gold, maybe kill a couple of enemies and get some toughness from the gold wrap. Also, it's nice if you're running into a boss or something, because sometimes those guys will one-shot you. But that about does it for the skills, guys. Let's look at the Paragon points. So for your core, you're going to want to max out your movement speed to 25%. Then boost your mana. Boost your vitality till you got a fair bit of health. You don't have to have much in this build. I run a little bit of vitality, again, just because I'm not crazy about dying a lot. Especially when I'm lower Paragon. I don't have the best gear. I always give myself a bit of vitality early on in the season, guys. And that helps a little bit, especially like when we're on the stream. I die a lot on the stream. It happens. They make fun of me. I die. But having a little bit of vitality, you die a little bit less. Look like less of a pleb. Everybody's happy. And then and then everything into intelligence after that. So for the offense, for this build, honestly, I'd probably start with cooldown or attack speed. I honestly might go attack speed first, and then I'd probably go cooldown and then damage and then chance. For defense, resist all and armor are your first two choices, and then after that you'd go, life and regen. For the last one, area damage is fine, especially if you're running solo, but for this build, leave the area damage on. No need to take it off. By the way, if you guys don't know, the reason a lot of people take off their area damage is because when you're running in groups, it can lag out the servers. So, especially if your build doesn't benefit from area damage, you don't want to run it in groups, in higher grade rifts. But none of that applies here. You just run your area damage. Resource cost reduction doesn't hurt. Life per hit doesn't hurt. Gold find is obviously good for this build. So I would probably start with gold find. Then I would do everything else in any order because none of them really matter. So yeah, that's it for the Paragon points. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the guide. Hope it helped you. Really like making these guides when I can. This one's a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and show you some footage so you can see kind of the play style and how it works. I'll try and give some pointers when we're watching that. But if you don't need to see that, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the video. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you have any questions on the stat priorities or want to see more detail, I'll link the Diablo fans guide for you down below. And feel free to come check me and Lady of the Cheese out on our Twitch stream. It's Twitch TV/Shnerp_TV. I'll go ahead and link that one for you in the description too. Thanks for watching, guys, and here's some footage for you. So when I start out, I usually just pop chicken right away and look for some mobs, jump out of chicken, and hit a couple spirit barrages on the ground to get the Manitou started. You can see it's just hanging out over the head here. So yeah, once you got the Manitou up, you can pretty much just run around and most of the stuff will die pretty fast. That Zay's Stone of Vengeance, the way it works is the damage gets higher the further away you get from the enemy, up to a maximum amount. So basically, when you're cruising past them, the reason we run that is because as you run past them and they get those Spirit Barrage procs over their heads, it'll do a bit more damage when you're running away. Make sure you kill them, even if you're not sticking around to see them die. So, works pretty nice though. But the key is to just kind of keep moving. I usually jump out of chicken around the elites and then drop a couple spirit barrages on top of them manually to refresh the spirit barrage over my head and make sure I'm focus firing the elites and killing them a little faster. But as you can see, I'm just picking up gold. Once you got a bunch of gold, you're basically invulnerable. It does fall off, so if you have like long lapses in enemies or gold, you might become squishy again. This build is really squishy without the gold buff. So, but it's pretty easy to play. The chicken really makes it nice to cover those long distances as well, in between maps and stuff like that. So. You can see the damage starts to fall off a little bit. So jump out, pop a couple spirit barrages, and keep going. If you're going to maximize the speed, you can just pop your Spirit Walk and your Horrify right before you go into Chicken. You'll go really fast for the first couple seconds of Chicken. But it's almost not necessary. It's nice to just kind of have both options too, especially when you're running bounties. You can kind of split up the damage boost when you're out of Chicken, and when you're in Chicken, you're already fast. So. Well, that was fun. Get this loot. All right. Well, thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you liked the video. Like I said, if you got any questions, that Diablo fans guide will have some more detailed stat priorities for you. And then you can ask questions there in the comments, or check us out on Twitch. I linked that one for you in the description. So, yeah, thanks again, and take it easy.